Mm, Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to learn about the law of demand. In the previous lesson, we learned about the scope and importance of managerial economics. We also learned that managerial economics help the managers to take proper decision as to how to use the resources optimally to grow the company profitably. In today's lesson, we will study about demand analysis. The objectives of today's lesson are: first, describe the concept of demand and its features. Second, define demand schedule, law of demand, price quantity relationship, and exceptions to the law of demand. Third, discuss the various factors that affect the demand for goods. Generally, we describe demand is a desire or want of something. But in economics terms, the demand refers to the quantity or service that is purchased by the consumer in the market at a particular price and at a particular time. Therefore, demand is equal to desire to buy, willingness to pay, and ability to pay. Now let us take an example. Suppose if a person is thirsty, he need a bottle of water, or his desire is to buy a Pepsi bottle. Now he can quench the thirst with the help of one glass of water or with a Pepsi. But if he goes for Pepsi, that means there is a strong desire for Pepsi. That becomes his want, and ultimately, if he has the willingness to pay and if has the ability to pay, he naturally goes for it and he buys that Pepsi, and that's how the demand for Pepsi is created in the market. The main features of demands are: it is always backed up by adequate purchasing power, it is always at a price, it is expressed in terms of specific quantity, it is related to time. One thing we need to remember, that higher the utility, higher the demand; lower the utility, lower the demand. Now we will study the term individual demand schedule and market demand schedule. Individual demand schedule is the various amount of goods that a customer is willing to buy at different prices at a particular point in time. See, this table shows the individual demand schedule. Suppose if a person has 400 rupees in hand. See, now when the price of a commodity is at 5 rupees fixed, now the quantity demanded units may be 200 units. Suppose if the price is reduces to 400, then his purchasing power is increased and he may get 300 units instead of 200 units. Suppose if the price again reduces to 3, he will be able to buy 400 units. See, again the price is reducing to 2 rupees, and then again has more money in his pocket and he will be able to get 500 units. See, when the prices again reduces to 1 rupees, then the quantity consumed will be 600 units. That's why in the individual demand schedule we see that at varied prices, the quantity demanded unit also changes. Okay. Now we will see what is market demand schedule. Market consists of many consumers, where the demand schedule of all the buyers in the market taken together. We get the aggregate demand schedule. It is the total quantity of the commodity demanded at different prices in the market by all the consumers at a particular period in the market is known as the market demand schedule. See, here is an example of a market demand schedule. Suppose in this market we are saying there are 3 customers and for that matter we will say 3 consumers, and suppose the person has 100 rupees in his pocket, B has 200 unit, and C has 300 rupees. See, when the prices is at 500 rupees, 5 rupees per unit, A will be able to buy 100 units, B 200 units, 300 units. So the total market demand will be the summation of the individual demand by all three persons A, B and C. So in addition, 100 plus 200 plus 300 is 600. That is the total market demand. See, from the table we see the price of the individual quantity reduces, the demand of the individual persons is also changes, it is going upwards. See, when the price of the commodity is goes down to 2 rupees, then the person A will be able to buy 400 units, B will be able to buy 500 units, and C will be able to buy 600 units. Okay, so the market demand schedule will be the summation of A, B and C's total demand, that is 400 plus 500 plus 600, that is equal to 1500. That is the market demand schedule. Okay, now we will see what is demand function. The demand of a product or service is depends on various factors. We can say that this, like we can take the price into account, as we have already seen in the demand schedule, the income of an individual person, and the price of the other substitutes. Here I am using the words other substitutes. Now let us take an example. We can see, take the example of tea and coffee, and if the prices of goes up for the tea, then people can definitely, they can switch to other substitutes like coffee. Thus we can say that the demand is a function of price and other factors. So we can write in this way, dx is equal to a function of px, pc, y, a, where px is is denoted as the price of the commodity, ps is the price of the substitute product, pc is the price of the complementary product, and y is the income of that person, and a is the advertising strategy, and t is the taste or preferences. And these points, the ps, px, ps, pc, y, they are called the determinants of demand. These are the factors that affect the demand. Then now we can see what is a demand curve. The graphical representation of a demand schedule is called a demand curve. See, from this figure we can plot the graph. Price is on the y-axis and x is on the x-axis. That is, x means the commodity demanded. Commodity demanded. When the price is fixed at 10 rupees for a commodity, the consumption may be 100 units. But if the price is reduced to 8 rupees, the consumption is 200, that is 100 more. If the price is again reduced to 6 rupees, the consumption is 300. Like that, when the price goes below below by 2 rupees, then the consumption will be 500 rupees. If we join, see these are the interjunction points. If we join all these points, we will get a curve that is known as the demand curve. The demand curve always has a negative slope, and it slopes downwards from top to bottom. Now the important concept that we are going to learn is the law of demand. It explains the relationship between the price and the quantity demanded for the commodity. It states that demand varies inversely with price, keeping all other factors constant. Whenever there is a fall in price of the commodity happens, the quantity demanded would be more. That's why D is a function of price of a commodity, keeping all other parameters constant. Keeping all other parameters, you can say, keeping all the determinants. Determinants. What are the determinants? These are price of the substitute product, price of the complementary, income of that person, and taste and preferences of that person. Then now we will see what are the features of the law of demand. There is an inverse relationship between price and the quantity demanded. Second point is it is only the qualitative statement, and as such it does not indicate quantitative changes in price and demand. And third one is demand curve always a downward curve. Now we will see what are the exceptions to the law of demand. Exceptions to the law of demand states that with the fall in price, demand also falls, and with the rise in price, the demand also rises. Now see, this is the exception to the law of demand. When the prices falls, the quantity demanded also falls, and vice versa. When the prices goes high, the quantity demanded also goes high. And there are some products, there are some examples which violates the law of demand, that we will see next. See, one is Giffen's paradox. It states that the demand of the commodity is increased with the rise in price or decreased with the decrease in price. Suppose, like, take the example of a farmer. His daily consumption is meat and potatoes. He eats, he takes meat 200 rupees and for 50 rupees. See, suppose if the price of the potato goes low, then the consumption of the potato will also go low. But instead, what will the farmer do? He will have more meat. So this Giffen's paradox says that whenever the price of the commodity it goes low, the consumption also goes low. But the price, the potato, we can see this is an inferior goods. Inferior means there is no much demand for the quantity or the commodity when the price goes low. Now the Veblen's effect. It sometimes certain commodities are purchased by rich people not for their satisfaction but just to show off. These products becomes a status symbol for that particular consumer. For them, it is not the price but the prestige attached by that product. We can take the example of diamond, precious stones, and world famous printings. The third which violates the law of demand is example is for fear of shortage. When a serious shortage is anticipated by the people, they purchase more goods at present, even though the current price is higher. Take the case of sometimes the onion prices shoot up during some seasons, and every year the people come to know during this season the prices will go high. But on this pretext, people tend to buy more onion at higher prices and stock it. And fourth point is emergency situation. The law of demand does not hold during emergency periods like war, famine, and floods. People tend to buy things even though the prices are quite high. And thus far, we have studied the demand and the law of demand, exceptions to the law of demand, and the characteristics of the law of demand. Thank you so much.